Mic check. Checking mics. Mics are being checked. Mic has been checked. Welcome to the Saturday night stream thing. I am, of course, Walcom. How are y'all doing this weekend? Make sure it's on, like, the lowest possible gain. Oh, what's with my hair? Why is this over here? This should screw it. Should look at myself more in the mirror before I stream. There we go. It's good to hear Hillbilly Brothers. Good to hear Jackson. Good to hear Foam Battalion. I'm doing pretty okay, Alpha 4 Master. That's good to hear, Jackson. Beard is looking good. I don't know about that. But thank you for the compliment, Foam. The Alpha Auto is kind of cool, Frisk. It is kind of cool. What's that Discord message? NERF, says Jackson. Thank you very much, Foam Blasters. There will be more Foam Zone. I've been taking my time trying to learn some stuff. My sweet, precious time. I have 3 videos shot with the exception of B-roll, and I have 3 more scripts I need to read out. My Walmart still hasn't marked down the dang hyper rounds. I've seen them, but the lowest I've seen them for is like $10, which is still a little bit much for me. Well, glad to be of service, Frisk. So we obviously have like an idea for this stream, and that isn't totally just an idea taken out of my bunghole, but it's becoming more and more as a content creator an issue. I realize that a good portion of my audience and the NERF YouTube as a whole are more underage viewers, and I realize that I perpetuate this exact problem because whenever I get excited and we get a blaster that's really good, injection molded, you can buy it off a store shelf, and it's just the best, it kind of harms another whole aspect of the community that is very important to the community. But as time goes on, it makes things a little bit more difficult to talk about, and I wanted to get your guys' answers because I have multiple videos that I need to do, but I don't know how to do them. I shouldn't say I have no idea. I have a vague idea of how I want to do them. But the idea is that why, if you don't own a 3D printer, would you buy a 3D printed blaster? And it's becoming more and more difficult of a question. The most obvious answer is there is a blaster out there for everybody. No blaster, no pump action, no flywheeler, no anything is perfect. Even the Venom Pro, which is really good, has a ton of issues. The thing is, though, those issues are completely nullified by just how good the blaster is by default. And this is starting to become an issue because there's a lot of designs in the community that are slowly starting to become injection molded blasters. And the thing with those designs and those injection molded blasters is that they're far cheaper than buying a 3D printed one. And I've had this in the past. It's becoming more and more of an issue where every single time I talk about a blaster, and I mean, this has been a problem in the community forever, and I've, again, somebody who has indulged in this, where why would you get X blaster when Y blaster exists? It's a kind of a problem because while the obvious answer is that not everybody has the same accessibility options to every single blaster out there, there are people, you know, in over the seas and like Europe and stuff like that can't get their hands on Dart Zone stuff. But at the same time, if you live in the US, which is where I live, which is why I, obviously cater my entire, YouTube view lens through, I every single time I do a video that everybody's, there's one, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to acknowledge this behavior, but there is one commenter for like the past 5-6 months. Every single time I talk about a video, they try to do some deep dive into my psyche about how I'm absolutely crazy and I'm unhinged and I shouldn't be talking about this because it's not available everywhere, and therefore this terrible blaster Nerf has made that nobody should ever buy will be better in the long run and make more money, and that's what matters, even though I don't think anybody in this comment section has stock in Nerf and shouldn't care about what Hasbro is actually doing, other than the fact that they were the market leader for decades, and they've squandered that to the maximum. It's been kind of a problem, but I've never acknowledged this behavior other than this, and I won't name them. In fact, there's more than a couple of people that do that, but this person sticks out particularly. And my issue is that if you live in like the US, and you probably have a Walmart or a Target within an hour of you, unless you're really far out there, and that means you're probably in the minority, you can literally just go buy some of the best foam flinging equipment we've ever had off a store shelf for what I would agree is a modest price, because remember, back in the day, it used to cost you $200 to get like 150 FPS Retaliator with a pump action kit. And now you can buy a, $50, $30 magazine fed pump action that does the same thing and is pretty much better in every single way. And this is something that I want to talk about because as a content creator, it's become a roadblock for me. I have blasters that I want to talk about, but I'm uncertain how to talk about them because they're 3D printed and there are options where you could just go out and buy something equivalent off a store shelf. My 3D printer filament is curling. Do I have a clog? Usually that's what that means, Aphrodite. I could buy a 3D printer here. I can't buy Dart Zone here. Printed blasters are actually more relevant to me than DZP. That's a good one, Smith Zero. But my question, in fact, I should make one of those fancy polls for this. How many people? How should I do this? Would you? Let's start this off easy. I'm going to kind of do some market research here. I don't plan on trying to sell you anything. I've seen what other YouTubers have tried to do when it comes to selling you 3D printed whatsits, and it's been interesting to say the very least. But there's a comment, like, I'm going to start off with the most recent one I have. And I'm going to tell you straight up, I really like this blaster. But I also didn't pay for it because I'm doing a video. So it's like one of those things where it's like, I wasn't monetarily compensated for it, but I have to work and put out a video on it. It's a thing. This is the Tulip. I forgot, by Poppy, which is an adorable name. This is a minimal hardware, minimal 3D printing kind of blaster. In fact, most of the hardware is located up here in the front where it has a linear rail, which is super cool because that means the pump is very, very smooth and super effective. The thing is, this is probably going to cost you, even if you bought a hardware kit, more than it would cost for you to just buy a Nexus Pro X. What does it hit, in this configuration that I have right here? It hits around, I think, 170s, fully tuned up. And its main claim, besides the fact that it has the linear rail, is that it has this little thing back here, which is hard to see because it's black, but this can be twisted, and this adds pre-compression to your spring, which can allow you to easily fine-tune the velocity of your blaster, which is super cool. There are a couple of blasters that have this kind of mechanism, but this one is really good, and I don't have any of the others that do that. So, when it comes to, like, talking about this blaster, I like it, it works well, it does some interesting, unique things, but I know my comment section is going to be, why would I buy that when I could just buy Nexus Pro X? That hits harder. And that's where things start to get kind of annoying as a content creator, even though I've perpetuated the exact same thing in other videos. And that's why I kind of wanted to try to have a chat about this with multiple other people live so we can kind of figure this out. I get like asked all the time, hey, do you want to check out this 3D printed blaster? Hey, do you want to check out this? And I've turned a lot of them down, even though it's free content. And I'm one of the content creators here that does not lack for any amount of, I'm behind by like 30, 40 videos. And I'm making my content more difficult to produce for me, which means those videos get slowed down a lot. And I don't know if people want, I just want videos, Walcom, I don't care what you put out. But I'm also somebody who takes pride in their work. I want my work to stand the test of time. I want you to watch a video 3 years now from me and it be as good of, if not slightly less quality than the content I'm putting out modern-wise. I always want to be improving. So it's important that we kind of have this conversation so I can try to see if there's an angle I can attack these videos from, because there's a lot of them, and I'd like to do videos. I'd like to help out a lot of these, like, because there's a lot of people out there that buy 3D printers, they put up Etsy's or Shopify's, and they make really good quality, better quality than I see from a lot of the other shops that I've worked with in the past. In fact, with the seller of this, it's not the designer, it's somebody who is licensed to sell this product. Their exact reason for opening up a shop, I can resonate with, because they bought from many of the very popular shops out there and have had a problem with every single one of them. And thus they not only started their own shop because of this, because they realized there's a gap in the market, because if all these popular guys are messing up blasters left and right, why don't I jump in and offer a very good product and try to fix the problems these other companies are having with quality control and stuff like that, which is something that's pretty easy to do when you're a smaller shop. Whether that can scale up with hundreds of orders a month, that's to be seen. But I just saw Solanus. 3D printed blasters are too fragile, in my opinion, to buy without the ability to reprint parts when, not if, they break. Has anybody out there been actually surprised by buying a 3D printed blaster and it being very strong? Because while Solanus says that, I can also point out that I know of at least one person right now that has been through 2 Maxim Pros with 2 very different issues. One where the spoke, the mount for the pusher snapped off. It just sheared right off because of that transparent plastic. And another where the switch just failed. The rev switch just failed. And that's something that I think is a problem. And I think it's something that 3D printed blasters can improve upon. Because I have very rarely had a 3D printed blaster fail. I have had them fail, but I think I've had more production blasters fail than 3D printed blasters fail. So I think that's something that we should kind of talk about. Smith Zero, if a printed blaster does something unique, I'm interested. We've had enough pump action mag fed springers for the next decade. Maybe that spring compression knob is useful. It's a neat sounding feature. This is something that I will still harp on. The Nexus Pro X is not the best blaster ever made. The reason why the Nexus Pro X is so good and so lauded is because it does so much for a price while being pretty much the maximum amount of accessibility. There will be thousands of Nexus Pro X's sold compared to even a Caliber. That's pretty good. Pardon me. It's fall. I had to have a caramel apple Rebel from Dutch Bros. And I do think that there isn't a perfect pump action magazine fed springer out there. And even if there was, there's still going to be somebody who doesn't like it. So I am somebody who I always try to work for that. The problem is that I've actually noticed this. I said in my video on like both the Sender and the Torrent, they're pretty bad blasters. They don't work. I don't endorse them. Even if they did work, they're pretty mid. A lot of people still bought them through the YouTube shopping thing, which I very much thank you for. But unlike other YouTubers I know of that will do videos on blasters that are bad and try to point you to a link down in the description that's an affiliate link where they're not only trying to gain brownie points with the developer or the shop they're trying to sell to, they're also trying to make a buck, so they never have an opinion. I was very firm on my opinion of these blasters. Even if the sender was worked flawlessly out of the box, it is still a very low mid blaster. You have to very much like the design of it to pick it up over anything else. The same thing goes with the Torrent, although the Torrent has a little bit more of a special niche because it is a, mag and grip carbine style blaster with pump action for $30, which is a less offensive price compared to the Sender. But again, mine had a ton of problems. I have fixed both of them, but I don't recommend either of them even when they work, even in a modded capacity. And I feel that's important, and even when I trash those blasters, people still bought them through my links. And that's, honestly, that's the coolest thing ever to me. Because I feel like either A, they're trying to spite me by using my link and just not caring, and like, oh, you hate this blaster, well, I'm gonna love it, I'm gonna buy it anyway, Walcom, screw you. Power to those people. But in general, it is something that I'm very conscious about. And I try not, and I tell you this straight to your face through a camera, I try to give you my sincere opinion on anything. I don't really take any kind of sponsored deals unless I think they're completely innocuous, as in it's not going to hurt anybody and it's something that a lot of people already use, and therefore even if it's blasé, I can still do the ad on it, or even a product that I don't believe in. So for instance, one of my worst sponsors ever would have been NERF Legends. I literally got paid to put out an integration, as it's called, on a game mill slop product that a lot of people still had fun with and were buying anyway. But it was obviously a massive failure, and that game was absolutely horrible, irredeemable garbage. And in my ad, I was like, well, I could take money for this and basically just dunk on it. And my ad was basically like, yeah, you can use all these blasters, have fun, check it out on the link in the description. That's all I did. And people were still like, you're the worst content creator I've ever known. You're lying. It's like, I very clearly worded it to where I'm not saying it's a great game or it's super fun or anything like that. And even then, I've played it, and had that game had like a slight more polish to it, it actually has some advanced movement mechanics that make it super fun, in my opinion, when goofing around with friends. But regardless, so I try to make sure that when I talk about a blaster, even if I've sponsored for it, it's something, my words are true. A lot of people, when I did the Siren stuff, accused me of hyping things up. Like, you don't have to be this hyped up for a paid thing. No, I legitimately really like those blasters. I can still tell you that it's been 90 days since I've done the video, more than that. It's been over 3 months since I've uploaded the video. The statute of limitations on that payment are pretty much done. I still love the Gnarl. It's a tiny, compact, magazine-fed thing. I think it could be better, mind you, but I really like the Gnarl because it's powerful enough, it's mag-fed, and it's super compact. It's one of the smallest mag-fed pistols that you can get in this hobby, especially for a Springer. And the Mauler is just genius. A lot of people are like, oh, it's just a remix of the Lynx. Like, they should owe Orion Blasters money for the Lynx, because this is like, the second time we've got a blaster, at least I know of off the top of my head, a major production has somewhat gotten really close to it, but it still had its own unique feature with the multi-staged plunger rod that allowed you to have like a stage 1 or a stage 2 or a stage 3 that increased the compression on the spring. And yeah, it was super cool. I thought that was like the coolest thing ever, even if I had issues with ergonomics. But even as like me, if I loved the Mauler enough and I had like, oh, I have the $40 or whatever to spend on a Mauler, you could just chop that grip off and replace it with whatever you want and do the old school modding methods that I'm very used to make it a more acceptable blaster grip. And a lot of people don't even have problems with the grip, so it doesn't matter. But a lot of people in those videos said, hey, you don't have to be this hyped, blah, 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 blah. And no, I was legitimately hyped. I still think they're good products, even though I don't know if I'll even do a video on the Blink because, it's been 90 days and they still haven't paid me. Yeah, I had a horrid experience with Derek's Sun's store ever since. I have hesitant to buy any 3D printed blaster. I think they're called Frontline Foam nows. that's, you know, a lot of people have issues with a lot of stores. I also think that, you know, check up on them, see if they're doing any better, because issues, if they were just complete, if one store was just doing issue after issue after issue after issue, they wouldn't still be in business, you know? So I do think that it's fair that people don't, like, let stores evolve. People make mistakes. Let them try to fix them. I'm not saying go spend $500 at the store, but I have gotten stuff recently from Frontline Foam for video. One didn't work out of the box. I don't know who to blame for that, but I got that musket, and that was perfect. That was better than anything I've ever gotten from almost any other store out there. Printed flawlessly, worked great, didn't have any issues with it. And I know that's not like a one-off for the YouTube influencer, because I handled another one, which made me want to do a video on the musket in general when I was at Ragnarok Oktoberfest. So, Fallon says, printed blasters durability is definitely good enough these days. There are very few printed blasters that have catastrophic failures at this point. I kind of agree. I think printers are getting so good that even with the same material we've been using, although I'm sure there's been updates to PLA in the past, you know, couple of years, that I'm dropping blasters and they're not shattering anymore. That used to be a problem. Jengular, nice to see you. Thanks for coming out, man. 3D printed blasters designed with the community tend to undergo lots of testing at games and a variety of other players to find issues, which is why we may find more problems with non-community blasters. I think that is important. I also, again, want to reiterate this, that blasters, no blaster is perfect. Everybody has, like, it's very common, I should say, where, let's say you have a Nexus Pro X, you have issues with it, but you really like this blaster. A lot of people have spent money on upgrade parts, have spent money on parts like metal rails and all this kind of stuff. People took the Nexus Pro, the original one, and dumped hundreds of dollars into parts for them and still love those blasters. There's no reason not to love those blasters right now. They still perform perfectly. But if that was the last blaster you touched, like you touch a Nexus Pro X, you'd be like, oh, this is so much smoother and nicer than the Nexus Pro, even with maxed out everything. Yeah, I kind of want one of these now. And you don't need one. You definitely don't have to buy one, but if you use it enough and you like it enough, you could definitely warrant spending the money on getting that one and even upgrading that one further. And I think every blaster, for the most part, I do appreciate the fact that people are trying to do stuff that's different, but even redundant blasters, there's always going to be something. I don't like the grip. I don't like the feel. I don't like this. I don't like the design. I think every blaster out there has a fan. Multiple, even. And the thing that's something I want to lean on and try to squash the just buy Nexus Pro X. If you're on a budget and you want a high performance blaster, just buy the Nexus Pro X. If you're on even more of a budget, just buy the long shot. And hopefully the Fury, whatever that comes out from X Shot in the next couple of months is good. Because the Fury looks like it'll be amazing and maybe be like, just buy that. You don't need pump action, just buy the Fury. Because it's like, what, $15 for 140 FPS slam fire from a backwards prime and also mag fed and comes with 20 darts. You almost can't get a mag and 20 darts for $15, let alone a blaster to go with it. So I'm really hyped for that explicit reason. Stuff like that is what makes me excited. But I want you to keep in mind, if anybody questions my allegiance, every single one of these blasters that I've like foamed at the mouth enough, right? When I'm super, like, I can't go a video without talking about the Venom Pro. I have blasters that are way better than the Venom Pro. I honestly might not even really use a Venom Pro unless I was like flying to a game across the country and didn't want to worry about checked blasters or anything like that, which is something I've done. I've been to like, you know, Jeb, and I've bought blasters at Target and just given them out at the end of the day because I don't need them. I sign them, hand them to a kid, walk out. And that's great because then I don't have to worry about checking luggage or my blasters getting broken or anything like that, and I don't need my actual stuff. But now I can go to like a Target and pick up a Venom Pro or two and use those in pretty much any game, and it's perfect. I don't really need to even bring my Diana, my Pew Pew, or anything like that. Those are honestly overkill. But if I was doing a local game, would I use a Venom Pro? Unless I wanted to have fun, no, not really. So when I'm getting excited about these blasters, it's important that you realize I'm excited for you. Because this is something like a Pew Pew or a Nightingale even, where it's like it's been prohibitive in some way. A Nightingale, for instance, you buy it, you got to buy a lipo charger, you got to buy a lipo, you got to know how to use it and do all that kind of stuff. And it's great. Now you can get something like that for cheaper from a store, off a store shelf that does all that and more. Is it as good as a Nightingale? Maybe better, maybe worse. Is it as good as a Diana? No, of course not. But I'm more excited for the Venom Pro than I am the Diana, because more of you get a chance, you get to see why I like these things. If I tell you to go out and buy 2 Venom Max, or Venom Pros, you probably realize, like, once you get your hands on them, like, oh my God, these are amazing. Now you probably wish you had 2 Dianas, but you don't have to spend $500 on them. So it's something that is important to me. That's why, like, every single time I do get excited for a product, it's like, yes, because this is something that you get to experience that I've had for years. Let's see. Can't wait for this Fury X's tag. I'm so mad Tendies made the Vipers exactly what I wanted, Short Dart Blaster, but it's not worth supporting them. That's fair enough, Bread. I wish I could get the carbon fiber or the metal filament to work right. Those are hard things. I've used the Protopasta metal filament. I kind of want to dry it out and try it on my bamboo, though. I haven't tried that yet. Frontline will be sus until they drop the Tendies blaster. That's fair, Uriel, but if they already have a bunch of stuff to make this blaster, and, like, you're kind of asking them, I don't know. See, I'm on 2 different sides of that, because I understand as a business, like, well, we have 100 parts kits and 100 blaster. Like, they might have everything already printed out, ready to go, or at least all of the parts kits wired up and pretty much ready to go for this blaster. And then somebody does something dumb. Like, they could very much, in fact, they should rationalize stopping that production and cannibalizing those parts and stuff like that. I've never talked to Derek about this, but otherwise, it's like, yeah, you're right. They should stop supporting this person. Maybe they sell it and don't pay royalties. I don't know. I mean, almost that's allegedly an issue in the past, and it's like that's almost like you could do that now with the community's blessing almost. Heron asks, I had a question. Do you think it would be worth buying the BK1S? If you have a game you could use it at, because it is a really realistic silhouette, I love it. It's probably the best, and I say this in terms of accessibility, affordability, use, and durability. All these things. I think it's the best. The BK1S that I have is still going strong. It is still super fun. It is just, it scratches that tactical itch so much. Mine is so overloaded with, you know, what is it, M-Lock and all that kind of stuff, parts on it, laser sights, scopes. Like, I put everything on it just to make it as tactical as possible. I love it. I don't know if it's worth getting, because, like, I don't think you can use that in a public game. That's my problem. Let's see. Funny seeing this topic come up, because I ordered my first 3D printed blaster. Now I have stuff like the Harry and Epix Prime and want to try something different. That is really cool to hear, Mawei Tao. What blaster did you order, if I may ask? I'm really curious. Walcom, I'm considering whether to play Airsoft or Nerf, but I don't know which better since I live in Mexico. I don't live in Mexico, so I couldn't answer that. What I can tell you is that I like Nerf a lot better, because no matter what you do with Airsoft, you're always just shooting a 6mm plastic BB. Like, there's no escaping that, and I don't find that projectile enthralling to use. Nerf is a lot of fun. Big foam darts and lots of different kinds of foam darts and different ways to play and build up and objectives and stuff like that. It makes Nerf really fun. And also, I think the biggest thing with Nerf is that you don't have 30, 50, 100 round mags, 5,000 round magazines and stuff like that. You don't get that. Not without some serious, like, what's the words I'm looking for? Like, not without some serious downsides. And I think that makes it a much more enjoyable game to play. Lynx in a couple of, yeah, the Lynx is an awesome blaster that has stood the test of time. So that, I think you'll be happy with that one. And that is one of those blasters where when you get your hands on it, like, you compare a Lynx to even like something that rips it off, essentially. Let's talk about like the Muller or something, where it's like basically the same setup. The actual Lynx is, for some reason, I'm guessing some kind of store stand, it is way more compact, it is way less fluff, it is way more utilitarian for what it's supposed to do. You basically can't add anything to the design of the Lynx without taking away something else somewhere. It's much like the original Strife in that sense. So yeah, I think that's actually a really good blaster. I think you'll be having a ton of fun with it. Out of curiosity, do you still build your own blasters, like fully custom stuff like the Deleter or Chimera Strike? I haven't. Mostly because in terms of like the time, I don't really go to games or events that much anymore for a variety of reasons. You know, don't take that out of context. And my main drive when I was building stuff with Board was like, oh, I'm going to be going to a game in this month. I want to build something for that game. And I could rationalize spending the time and effort to do that. There are stuff that I have built and modded and done over the past couple of months that you guys haven't even seen. But when it comes to like doing it on the scale that I used to, I don't, because the time versus return isn't quite there unless it's something I just absolutely have to have. Like, I have a project that I want to finish, but it's probably going to take me 200 hours. And it's been so long, I don't know if I can even... I don't know how good I am at doing, like, body work and stuff anymore. It's been a long time since I've sanded epoxy putty and done the right thing. And I take too much pride in my work to do something, you know, half-ass it, you know what I mean? Like, I try to do the best possible work I can because I want every single project to be better and better and better. I think that's something that did show up over time on my channel, is that I got progressively better and put more time and more effort in things to make sure it was the best I could do at that time and moving forward. I never wanted something to feel like, oh, it's good enough. The last time I did something that's, oh, it's good enough was like the paint job on the NERF AK, and that sucked because that was such a long project, a really harsh, long project that took a lot of time and effort, and then I threw the worst paint job ever on it, and I still regret that. What is your favorite dart blaster that you have? Oh, it's a good question. I actually don't know how to answer that right now. There's too many really good blasters, especially this year, that I got my hands on. Do I have anything around it? I have a couple of blasters around me, but I wouldn't say any of them are my favorites. So looking at the poll, we got 126 votes. Thank you very much for that. People say, would you buy a 3D printed blaster without a 3D printer? People say yes. That is interesting. Majority of people say yes. I'm going to end that poll. And I believe that's important, but people, I'm wondering if people are okay paying a premium for 3D printed stuff. Now, there is one very blatant upside to 3D printed blasters that is customization. You can very easily customize a 3D printed blaster. Even the stock one, even if you're ordering it from a shop, you can still usually choose your own colors, have custom logos and stuff put on it. That is really cool. And that might actually be one of the bigger reasons to buy a 3D printed blaster. But let's say, would you spend $150 on like a 3D printed blaster that is comparable to a $50 Nexus Pro X? That's kind of my thing. That's what I'm really wondering. I have a 3D printer, but I choose no because I wouldn't want to pay an absurd amount of money for 3D printed blasters. That's fair, SG. Skill stay with you no longer. How long it might take a moment to film yours, but it's like riding a bike. I have like 13 tubes of Odie's Fix-It stick. I don't even know if it's still good. If 3D printed blasters offer something I can't get on shelves, I'm in. I got a trigger a long time ago because there wasn't any double action blasters on the market. Yeah, I still want to do my video on the trigger, but man, the Desperado is really good. I still think the trigger has a lot going for it, especially if you buy one, because it's so compact. Have you seen that 3D printed blaster on eBay that uses a string as like a one-barrel pistol? Probably, Cheddar Sandwich. I mean, you're describing a lot of blasters. I was thinking of getting a Fiddlock holster. What one dude uses that? I don't know who's still making them because the original person who sold the original holster is long gone. I purchased one off them and they never even shipped it off. And I had to do like a PayPal refund, like dispute to get it back. I'm considering getting Alex Kermey's HPA. It's HPA. HPA is like one of those things where I can't ever recommend anybody get it because there's so few games where that's allowed. And honestly, it's expensive most of the time to get HPA stuff. And if you're going to do HPA, I almost say just save up the money and get something like a, what's that blaster? A Sweetheart Storm. Those things are stupid and it's really good. Stupid good. Well, you're talking about materials versus skill. You can always get newer materials if you have to reinvest them. I have unopened tubes of epoxy sculpt that I never even opened, like the packs. I bought a whole bunch of stuff that I've never even used. I also wonder whatever happened to the old outro music. Oh, Foam Battalion, it's because nobody watches video endings, and that hurts your metrics on YouTube. That's why I don't do an outro anymore. I've had people like, what, do your video just end? It's like, yeah, because it ended where it needed to end. I usually don't say thanks for watching or anything like that, because the second I've done it myself, when I hear thanks for watching and they go on like another 30-second spiel about checking out all their social medias, all that kind of stuff, I just close the video. If I'm actually at the computer or I'm actually watching it on my phone, I'll just close out immediately, and that hurts your overall metrics on YouTube. Hey, Emiliano. Did you see those unreleased yellow Mega XL darts that sold on eBay? No, I didn't. Have you rated the ZWQ Viper S200? I did the Fire Rat, which is very similar to the Viper. I don't have a Viper, though. So another blaster that I have that, like, it's from the same shop, and I really, really, really like it, is the Rush, which is 3D printed. This one uses angled talons, which is cool, because I don't think I have too many springers that use angled talons. But it's also, like, to have somebody print one of these things out, especially in high quality, you know, construct it and ship it to you, it's going to cost a lot more than buying a Nexus Pro X. So, I mean, I actually don't know how much one of these costs. Let me look, because I bet you it's around $200. And it's like trying to figure out, because I like it. I really like it. Oh, it's actually not that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad. $160 in my opinion. For somebody to, you gotta think about how that works. Like, a lot of people think you just like hit button and you get this. It's like, no, you get all these parts. You have to remove the support. You have to do a bunch of stuff on them. Then you have to put the thing together. And that's a lot of work. You're talking, it could be, even if you're good at it, it could take you 2 hours sometimes to do all that kind of stuff, let alone the time printing it. And I got my hands on this. It's like, oh yeah, no, I would 100% use this over a Nexus Pro X or a thing. I like it. My only complaint about it is the grip. I think it's slightly too bulky. Like, it's comfy, but it's like, it's too thick. It's really thick for some reason. But the shelf to rest my thumb, the shelf for my trigger finger, the trigger, excellent. All this stuff's really good. I like the folding stock. I'm a huge, I love those slots. I don't even mind the vertical foregrip, to be honest. Like, I think it's pretty good. The prime is really smooth. I really liked the angled mags. I think they look cool. I think the silhouette looks a lot better. And he said this was a special B-car. This is a really good B-car. This thing is laser accurate. And it's like, this blaster was designed with the express person. It's like, it only has 1 bar. Most blasters have 2 or 3. This only has 1 bar connected to the ram base, and it's perfect. Like, it's so smooth and easy to use. I love it. But then it's like, how do I get a video on this? Like, I could just do the video. And that's one of the things I envy about Coop, is he would just do the video the same way every single time, and then at the end of it give you his opinion, which could only be like a minute long. And I kind of wonder, like, if I have to try to adapt that thought process, because how do I talk about this when most people watching it are just going to go, well, I'm just going to go buy a Nexus Pro X for $50. It's on sale. It's $38 right now at my local Walmart. Why do I spend $160 on this? It's like, I can't fix you that, but this is not a Nexus Pro X. This is a lot different and arguably a lot better in other ways. But if all you're looking at is price to velocity, yeah, just get a Nexus Pro X. But I know that's going to be a contentious point. That's why I want to talk about this. It's like, I have these blasters. I'm going to get more of them in the future. How do I talk about them compared to, like, things that are on store shelves that most of you are already bought? Like, did anybody buy a Nexus Pro X and feel like I misled you? That's actually an important question. Do you regret buying a Nexus Pro X? Oh, I love how that's chroma keyed out. That's funny. Chance made a modified Rush called the Crush, uses a Link script. Interesting. Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of them out there. People think it's right-click, print blaster. Yeah, bots, I know. I love caffeine and sugar. I've heard really good things about the G19. I have a Griffin. I don't think I've heard of the G19. Everyone is going to have an opinion. Everyone's going to do whatever they do. I feel the best way to think about it is these videos is sharing your passion. I mean, like, with the Tulip, it's like, this is super cool. You can make the blaster go from, like, I think 120 FPS to 180 by just twisting this knob. And I like the look and feel of this blaster. I honestly think it's like a really... I hate this foregrip. Oh, I'll say that. I don't like this foregrip at all. I would swap that out for, you know, whatever one I happen to have on hand that makes it better, but it's like really smooth because it's using a linear rail. I saw the Tulip by, I can't remember their name, where they added another rod down here, and I think that's useful because otherwise this thing moves just a little bit too much for me, and I think that does help a lot. And that's the cool thing about 3D printed blasters is that people make those changes, especially when they're open source, and I feel that adds a lot. But there's also another thing. Push button mag release. Ambidextrous push button. Not a lot of blasters have that. So it's like, if you wanted a compact, and keep in mind this has the stock extended, but I can collapse that stock, and even with this obnoxiously long B card, like this is a silly one, it kind of has to be long. You can put a shorter one on there and get a better, if not, you know, as equivalent, if not better effect. So it's a nice little compact thing. It's got a nice, you know, you can use a 3D printed one, but this is the worker one you can get for a couple of bucks. It's a nice cheek weld. This thing's laser accurate. I have no issues with it. Same thing with the Rush. Laser accurate, no issues. Like, feels good. But now I'm trying to think, like, how do I tell you that even if you have this thing, this might be a blaster worth looking at? Because at the end of the day, my job is to try to sell something, but I also don't promise sellers. It's like, hey, I can get you X amount. I just say, hey, I'll do a video on it. I really like it. I'm going to do a video on it. I just can't guarantee anything. People just want to see blasters on YouTube. Fair enough. Hey, Blake. Chance also made a link script for the Rush if you want to switch it. I might do that, Benjamin, because I really don't like that grip. I really don't like it. I'm pretty good wild style. I just finished my video on the wild style. It is hard. I fired like 30 shells out of it. Outside, let alone inside, for ranged accuracy. I found the Boomco shells didn't work that well. I don't know. I felt like there was some issues with seal on some of the shells. I don't know if that's my fault or if that's a shell fault, because I got some of the shells, but a majority of the shells I printed out myself on the X1C. In my opinion, I think that people who don't sell files are kind of scamming people who have printers, not mentioning the shipping rates at the moment. Yes, Spicy Ice, have you made a blaster before? Yes or no? Like, have you ever taken the time to develop a blaster? And if so, I want to see it. Because I know of one other person that is very vehement about that. And in my opinion, I think it's perfectly acceptable if you design a 3D printed blaster and you don't want to make the files publicly accessible to people. I think that's fine because you dumped, you know, who knows how much time and effort into a design and then throw it out there for free on the internet. And then somebody just like, oh, cool, I'm going to take that and I'm going to sell it. And then you got nothing for your work. Hey, that is a huge issue. Especially if it's good. Especially if it's good and I do a video on it. Like, I've been personally responsible for numerous Chinese companies just taking designs because the video was popular and selling it bootleg. That sucks. I wish that didn't happen. There are a couple of designs out there that I've thought about, like, that this is actually a thing. We could talk about this, because I don't know if I've talked about this. There's one blaster in particular right now. I don't know how much it would cost. But there are, would you, if we needed like, let's say 10 grand, right? That sounds like a lot, but bear with me. There's a blaster design that I want to see publicly accessible. That's not. That is 3D printed. You can't get the files at all. You could just buy either a parts kit with the blaster prints, or you can just buy a completed blaster. But let's say if we were to crowdfund 10 grand and shove it in that person's mouth and they released everything publicly, is that acceptable? Because I feel like there's a couple of blasters out there people would be like, oh yeah, no, I'll throw $20 in the hat to get that thing. And it's all or nothing. It's either it gets completely funded and the person goes, yep, I'll take that money. Here you go. And it's publicly for everybody, or nothing. Like, sorry, that's not enough money. I can't do that. Like, I would talk to the creator and I would make a case for him, but I honestly wonder how many people would do that. David says, absolutely. What I'm saying for is paid full files is perfectly fine. I don't like buying parts because the QC and the price in general. I get that. As somebody who owns one of the best printers that you could buy, I understand that implicitly. The problem is that people still need to be paid for their work. And if you make those files accessible in pretty much any way, yeah, you're screwed. Like, as a creator, you're screwed. The one person I think that has gotten around this pretty good is Gavin, because he builds a core of a blaster that you really can't get the stuff for. Like, there's parts of Gavin's blasters you basically have to have Gavin make for you and sell to you, beyond having the files. And then Gavin also makes files accessible for blasters. It really depends on what you're looking at. But, like, there are blasters out there that I think are locked behind walls that aren't getting the attention they deserve. And I don't want to call anyone out, and I'm not trying to call anyone out, but there is, like, I would love to do a video tomorrow. Like, hey guys, here's the deal. I love this blaster. I'm going to show you why I love this blaster. I think it's the best blaster in the hobby, and few people have gotten their hands to use it. And that's because the creator dumped 400 hours over the course of 4 months on this blaster, and they are selling it, and it's really good, and I wish more people, because this is the only store that sells it, had their chance to get this blaster, but they can't make these files publicly accessible because then it would just get ripped off and they wouldn't make any money, and then you're talking hundreds of hours down the drain on somebody who needs to be able to pay their rent and feed themselves. So what if we just all chipped in on like a GoFundMe, crowdfund, whatever, where it's like, if it reaches, let's say if the creator's like, yeah, I'll take 10 grand, I'll take 8 grand, I'll take 5 grand, whatever it is. I don't want that to become the norm. I want to target specific things that I feel are absolutely worth it. And in return, basically we pay the creator goes, okay, I can't say no to that. Here you go. And the files are just out there for everybody. There's nothing held back. Everything the blasters had for years, whatever it is, are out there. Like, I don't want that to become the norm, but there are designs out there in this hobby that I feel would benefit massively from this kind of thing. And it's like, is that acceptable? Maybe it's not, because again, I don't want every single content creator to be like, oh, cool, I made this pistol that shoots N series. I want 5 grand. No, that's not how that works. But it's something that I think could be done on a couple of designs. You probably know of one. It's like, man, I'd love to have the files to this thing from 4 years ago that barely anybody has talked about, that's being sold on some randy Shopify that I don't even know if the creator is still in the hobby. I'd love to have the files for that, and I think I bought one, and I think it's the best blaster ever, but it's so hard to get one. I would love for this to be more accessible and to see what people will do with it. Do you think there's a way I can print a safer looking BK1S? I'm sure there is, Heron. I'm sure there is. I missed the JSPB Tengu Zom. I wish I could have got another way of this. There's a lot of their stuff would be awesome to have. Hey, original manipulator. I seriously want to see knockoff blasters get reviewed after the real blasters. That's kind of worth it. It could backfire. That's the problem. I think if someone made a modernized version of the Plus bow out of 3D printed parts, get the Ranger Heavy released, that would be fun. Like, how much could you do with it? See, the issue with like the Ranger Heavy though is that it's a very bespoke thing. But I bet you if you shoved dollar bills into Shane's mouth for something like that, and he just sold like, okay, here's the whole trigger system pre-made, ready to go. It's $30 on my Etsy, and here's the free files, or here's the parts and part list and the bill of materials and everything. You make it yourself. But I think that trigger system alone is gonna cost you. My stuff is always going to be free. That is true, and I think it's worked out really good for Moose, because after I did my video on your original pistol, I never heard from you again for a while because you were so freaking busy. But not everybody has that luxury. And some people put, literally months of their lives in. Like, for the example, let's talk about the the Moab, right? Like, that is literally years of this dude's work, testing, breaking, building, and everything like that. And in terms of actual 3D printing, it wouldn't take you that long. And in terms of wiring and electronics, yeah, it's expensive. There's some very expensive electronics in that, but it's not prohibitively bad. Also, if it was more accessible, people could change parts, build better ones, like streamline the process for people. This is all potential to be done, but he needs to make his money. I like, that blaster wouldn't exist if the dude wasn't like, I can sell a couple of these and make thousands of dollars. That would be great. If he sold 5 of those, 6, 10 of them, it paid for all the work he did. You're talking like that could be tens of thousands of dollars, not tens of thousands, but you know what I mean? Like, if his cost is like 1/3 the Moab, not to mention his time, and he sold 5 or 10 of them, then that paid for the entirety of the Moab being made. But then, could he really just like release the files after? I don't think he could. But if we were to shove money, and he's sold enough that he's comfortable, and then he got another boost in income past that to release this thing out into the wild, think about how many Moabs would be out there. Better Moabs. People would be taking parts and doing all sorts of stuff with it. That is worth talking about. But I'm also not stupid enough to say, oh, well, he needs to release those files to everybody because it's just a 3D printed. I could 3D print better than him and do all this stuff. Yeah, but you didn't make the blaster. Like, if you designed a blaster and it was, you know, really good and you wanted to keep the parts to yourself or put them out there, it doesn't really matter to me what you want to do, because if you made the thing, you should be allowed to make money off of it. I know people hate that. People hate the fact that I have ads in my videos. People hate the fact that I do Raid Shadow Legends and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I still have to try to put creativity, time, and effort into these videos to make them entertaining for you to watch. And I'd rather have Raid Shadow Legends sponsor the video than try to crowdfund everything through something like Patreon, because Raid, you could just skip it. I like to make those as fun as possible, even though Raid doesn't let you do anything fun, but it is worth it, in my opinion, because nobody had to pay for that. Raid paid for that. Whether they get the return or not, I don't know what to tell you. I wish I could get ads for games that I like. I wanted to do something else with like Wuthering Waves, because like that game came out, I played it, I liked it, and all these other, God, Nikke. I wish I could do an ad for Nikke. That would be really difficult to do because of the subject matter of said game. But man, I love that game. I'd really like to do an ad for it. Like, I wish I could do that, but it doesn't work out that way because I'm not a video game channel. The reason they won't release their files is because they want you locked into their ecosystem, kind of like iPhone chargers. I don't know if that's how that would go. I can't compare my work to the mod these days. New designs are taking me 8 to 10 days to go into prototypes. Elk reskins 1 to 3 days. I'm still waiting for that S4 League pistol. Do you think the Rival series is done, Kendon? I don't think so, because they release 2 or 3 Rival Blasters a year, and we'll probably see more in January. We'll probably see word on new blasters in November. The funny thing is, some knockoff blasters actually improve upon certain issues and have quality of life improvements. This is true. They can, anyway. They can also have those improvements and be worse. Do you think we're getting 25 days of tag back this year? I don't think... I want to do stuff like that, and if I were to start on it right now, we could rationalize that. The thing I'm running into is that it's a lot of trying. I don't think that's ever been successful. Most people get tired of it after 1 or 2 days. I wouldn't mind uploading 25 days in a month. In fact, I should, basically. And if I were to start right now, I could. But I don't want to upload a video that only gets like 14,000 views. And then, you know, oh, I don't like this blaster, I'll watch the next one. Or it gets buried because I've uploaded so much past it. I almost would rather try to do what I did last year, which was horribly late, but just try to give you a movie. You know, Boomco, Rival, every blaster, what my thoughts on, stuff like that. I love to put that kind of effort into videos. I really do. It was a ton of fun. It could be way streamlined, but I had a lot of fun making the Zombie Strike one, and that was one of the hardest projects I've ever tried to do, and I could have done so much better. At that point, it got caught up with the sponsor, and that kind of made me had to cut corners, but you'll see another one. I'll have another one out before the end of the year, because I have 2 videos I want to do. It's just a matter of which one I'm going to do. I've already taken the time to pull out some of the blasters for those videos. I would like to get like Zach or somebody to come over and just help me dive for like, I need these 35 blasters to do this video. What's the hardest part is finding the blasters, right? That's the hardest part. As long as I can find the blasters and they work and I can do it, I can skip 1 or 2 of them, but I don't want to do like, oh, here's Rebel. I have 6 of the 45 blasters, and it would be boring. Or not. Maybe it wouldn't be. I don't know. Do you think Hyper even had a chance? I don't think they tried hard enough with Hyper, random dude. I got a Rapid Madness at the swap meet a week ago, now I miss Boomco again. Rapid Madness is legitimately a cool blaster. Do the 12 days of tag back, and for the 12 days of half the amount of recording. Do I even have 12 blasters I could legitimately do good tag backs on? That's the problem. I think tag back might become a shorts thing. I might redo like because I can fill a minute of content with tag back, and I give you just about the same information. I have already started doing that, I just haven't uploaded anything yet. But I think that's going to be how tag back goes in the future. And that lets me cover and update the original videos I did a long time ago. Unless I don't have the blaster anymore, which is possible. I'm glad you're making those random people getting paid for their work. I love 3D printed blasters. I mean, I also don't think that you should make a really crappy blaster that other people have done way better, but you feel like you can just, oh, I can put out a thing and sell it because I'm famous, or I think I'm famous, and then try to charge hundreds of dollars for what is essentially $30 in materials just because you made it. I guess you can do whatever you want, but that also leaves you open to being criticized. So there are people out there that will pay a premium for, like, if I made something, there are people who would pay a premium for that. But there's a limit. And I think with 3D printing, that limit is very easy to reach. Make these years tag back the top rarest blaster you can show. Oh man, I got some rare stuff. I've got even more rare stuff recently. Is Nexus Pro OG considered tag back? I would definitely cover the original. I have one still in box. I meant to send it to Slater and never did. Have you seen the new X-Shot blasters? I have recorded the outdoor firing and the unboxing, which is quite a bit of work, mind you, for all 3 of the new X-Shot horror fire stuff. I don't know how I feel about them, to be perfectly honest. Especially the shotgun. That is a design of all time. I've got a perfect tag back video. Every retail MagFed shell ejecting blaster. Oh man, I don't know about that. That's like a movie, and I don't know if I'd call that tag back. Shorts for tag back actually sounds. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have a lot already done, like shot up. I just needed to edit them together. And then I could just bundle those into a full length, like here's 10 random pistols or whatever. I need to get a little bit better at filming stuff in a way that can be both vertical and portrait, which is hard. That's actually really difficult to nail, and I've been trying to do that because otherwise I'm doing lots of the work. And the thing with like shorts is that it's almost entirely B-roll footage. I know there are content creators out there that can get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views, just going, check out this thing. Oh, it's so cool. Oh yeah, look at it. And it's dumb. I hate that. I'd actually rather put some effort in my content. I keep saying that. And I'm wrong. I'm stupid. I should just, why am I putting forth all this effort when it's not going to make me more views or anything? Well, it's because I don't like putting out half-baked content. I really don't. Which is the reason why there are so many videos that never hit the channel that I waste my time on because I'm just not happy with them. It's terrible. X-Shot Horror Fire feels like they're kind of thing you only buy if you really like the aesthetic. The shotgun is it's the worst one, I think. I think the shot. So my biggest issue, spoilers, I haven't wrote the script yet. My biggest issue with the Horror Fire stuff so far is that they're interesting. I think they look good. When you pick one up, it feels awful. It feels like the cheapest thing you've ever, like it legitimate, like it doesn't really matter. It just feels hollow, cheap, light, not great. And the shotgun, its main issue, it has slam fire, which is cool. But his main issue is that to rev the thing, the saw blade on the front, it's at the very start of the prime, and it's a lot of friction and force. So every time you prime it, which that doesn't look good, but every single time you prime that blaster, you're revving that chainsaw blade in the front with friction, and it feels awful. That being said, the Dread Hammer, the big boy, the Gatling gun, the Crusher remake essentially, is very good. It feels way better than the actual Crusher. I got some really good distance out of it. Slamfire was really good. Like, I'm worried about how long that mechanism would last, right? I think that's fair. And the attachments don't even grip onto the rail. The ones that come on it that you would remove to put on the other blasters, like those feel like garbage in my opinion. But like, when you start actually using it, like, it almost makes me wish they would do like a $70, $80 high-end Crusher, because that thing hits hard. It works really good. It feels pretty okay to use. And I would never need another flywheeler if I could have that with like a 110 round chain or something on it and a box mag and just dump rounds at people. It works really good. It's just like, I think if you like use that enough, it would snap something inside, because it just feels so cheap. Hey, Tomsky. 3D printed blasters are still the pinnacle, yet I think that will eventually change. I don't think it will, James. I think 3D printed blasters are important. I just wanted to gather feedback on, if you don't have a printer, would you still buy a 3D printed blaster? Like, would you spend let's say $180? Would you spend $180 on something comparable to a Nexus Pro X, but had a bunch of changes, or one change even, that made it absolutely better than a Nexus Pro X? I'm not talking about velocity. So, for instance, with the Tulip. The Tulip has the linear rail, which honestly makes it very smooth to prime, but then it also has, well, this is really cool, ambidextrous push mag drop, and then it also has, once you extend the stock, you have this tuning cap right here. So I can unlock that, twist this forward, and this actually adds more pre-compression to the spring and makes it hit harder. So I can tune the blaster up and down in seconds, and it would be consistent, and it doesn't really change the priming rate all that much. Is that worth the extra $100-something over an Nexus Pro X? To me, it is, especially if I can get, like, if it's more ergonomic for me and it feels better to use than an Nexus Pro X. If I'm on a budget, obviously that's not an option. But a lot of people will pay a lot of money to take something like a Nexus Pro X and make it better. They'll add metal parts to it, worker stuff, AK Blaster Mod stuff. They'll do that to their blaster, even though they already spent the money on something that arguably doesn't increase the performance. It doesn't really do anything other than change aesthetics or ergonomics, or maybe add features. And that's what I'm wondering. Like, when is anybody interested in seeing a video on another pump action Springer, but it has two unique things to it on top of its own design? That's what I'm wondering, because, like, it's kind of getting to the point where it's hard for me to talk about, because I already know people are going to be like, it's not an Nexus Pro X. I used to buy an Nexus Pro X. Why would you ever talk about that? It's like, that feels like most people in my comment section, and I don't want to deal with that, because they're not wrong. I'm also guilty of perpetuating the same thing. But here's another. Don't fall on the ground. I kind of still need to do a video on you. Here's another one. This is the Rush. Like, this is another pump action magazine fed Springer. What does it do differently? A lot. It's very thin. I don't know if you can see that. It's very thin, very compact, very light, very pointable. It's heavily customized by people. There are so many different designs of this right now, but it's built as like, oh, it's got less hardware and stuff like that, but that's one bar. Super light, super smooth. I like the angled mags, even though you could use normal mags. I think angled mags are awesome. It feels really good. Trigger is, see, very, very good. There are reasons to pick this up over that kind of stuff, especially when it has an actual pivoting trigger, which a lot of Nerf blasters don't to me. Plus, the folding stock is pretty legit cool. These are things that I think are worth talking about and I could do videos on, and that's the problem, is like, for me, right? So in my issue, if I upload a video on that and it gets 8,000 views in a day because nobody cares, how do I make it so, like, most people will just look at it and be like, I don't need that, I have an Nexus Pro X. or I don't care about it. Or if I happen to upload on a day that nobody else is uploading, people really want to watch videos, that could also work. But that's actually a huge concern. And if there's enough of those kind of videos where it's like, yeah, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, the channel dies. So I have to be very careful about what I talk about, but at the same time, I know people want content. And it's a very paralyzing issue with content creation on YouTube. It sucks. I don't envy creators that spend a long time on a passion project to put it out and nobody cares. And they're like, wow, I just spent a month working on that video and nobody wanted to watch it. And then I'm also jealous of content creators that can spend a month working on a video. It doesn't matter what it is, people are going to watch it. I very much hate those people. I wish I was that person. But with how childish people are in this hobby, I feel like people would cheat that with that feature. Oh, the dial in? Yeah, it's not for that. BK1S or Worker Prophecy. Those are completely different blasters. And honestly, I don't know why you do a Prophecy in 2024. Maybe you like it. Fair enough. Speaking from before I had a printer, I was very hesitant to buy printing blasters without meaning to repair them if the parts break. Most of these blasters, by the way, if they break, you can fix them with super glue. But do people not know that? I've broken so many 3D printed blasters and repaired them completely with super glue. I think at a certain point you have to cancel out the noise of people with no real criticism, but it does affect all of us. It's the reason I don't push TikTok because the comments are brutal. Oh, yeah, no, I hate it doesn't matter. They're usually people way more. I argue most of them, if not all of them, are people way sadder than me. Do you think a dual trigger system like the Desperado Nailbiter have any good or has anything good in competitive play? I think the Desperado has a future for a couple of reasons. I have that video fully shot and edited. It should be out soon. I just need to actually like tidy it up, put it out. I'm very impressed with the Desperado. And the thing with the Desperado is that it basically is the most accessible sidearm we'll ever have, most likely. I don't feel like you can get a pistol-sized flywheeler or anything. I would use the Desperado over an Outlaw any day of the week. Even modded, I'd use a Desperado over an Outlaw. And the hammer shot is dead in the water. Like, I would never touch a hammer shot ever again. But for people who like hammer actions, those blasters do exist. For most people, I have a feeling that the Desperado is going to be, like, even if you have every blaster out there, you'll probably still pick up a Desperado just to see what it's like. And modding the Desperado is really easy. And even if you were to buy the parts, like the 3D printed parts to mod the Desperado, it's exceptionally cheap. They're not, and even then, it's like if you were like, hey, dude who has printer, can you print this out for me? I spent $5 on the files, here are the parts. It would take them like an hour and like 30 cents in filament to print out something that will take a Desperado from 60 feet per second or 70 feet per second to 110, 120 feet per second and give you more utility. I think the strength of the Desperado, if you're not looking for single shot, full length or half length, shotgunning 2 half-length darts out of the Desperado is crazy effective. And having 2 of those in holster, which people please develop holsters for them. I don't know if Dart Zone will. Hopefully somebody makes like a really simple snap holster for the Desperado. That will absolutely Shrek. There's very little reason in my mind to not have a Desperado or 2. Even if you already have Venom Maxes and stuff like that, the Desperados work in a different way and they're visually interesting and stimulating enough that I think it's well worth it. If that is not the best blaster of 2024, its only competition is another Dart Zone blaster. But the same people think paying over $50 is unaffordable. This is true. A lot of hobbies can be very expensive. A lot of hobbies can be very draining. A lot of hobbies can be super accessible and also super cost prohibitive. It really matters. Like, a good hobby has multiple price points to get into, and gear doesn't matter as much as other things. There is that like idea where it's like you don't have to jump into a hobby with the best possible gear. That's the cool thing about having the Venom Pro and the Striker 2.0 at Target. You could buy both those blasters right now and pretty much do any single competitive league there is. Like, you can. There's no stopping you. I have a short coming out on the Striker 2.0 springs. The maximum spring in the Striker works better than the maximum spring in the Nexus Pro X. And I got, with bamboo darts, 270 plus feet per second. I went from 200 to 270. It's a stiffer prime, but it works. It feels way better than the Nexus Pro X did. So I did a whole short on that. We need someone to over-engineer the Desperado for 200 FPS. I wouldn't imagine that it might be capable of doing that. Once people get their hands on the Desperado and see how simple a mechanism is, I bet you will see a 3D printed thing in the future for it. Oh, Valor. Did you test that blaster before you sent it off to me? Because it's dead. It's very dead. I put the battery in and it just made grinding noises and locked back, and I can't get it to unjam. I'm a little sad. I didn't even get to fire a dart out of it. But did you test it, like, before you shipped it off? Because it is super. I don't even know how to I can't unjam it. Like, it's locked back. I can't fire it because the trigger won't engage. The motor just, like, I fired it dry, like, without having power to it, and it worked fine as a Springer, but then I put the battery in and I fired it once and it just went burn and locked back, and that was it. It wouldn't do anything else. The pinhole in the front gives access to a button. The pinhole in the front? I really wanted to do a video on this, and I'm very, very, very sad right now. The front grip. There's a pinhole in the front grip. Okay, I see like a release or a button. You're talking about in the magwell? This thing? There's a button there. What does that do? I'm trying to be as coy as possible to A, not get taken off, sniped by YouTube. It resets the mechanism. With no power? Oh, no, I see. Okay, so put a battery in, then hit that button. Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Can I even get a beep if I plug this in? There's no sound. I gotta have something small enough. What is with the, like, grinding noises? Do you have any idea? Oh, man. Somewhere I have to have, like, a stem card or something. Ah, here we go. This'll work. It made a motor sound, but nothing changed. It went, did it? Nothing changed. See what I'm talking about? At least unjammed it. It works. Not really. Now I can't prime it back. So, is it reset or not reset? Still doesn't make any noise when I plug the battery in. Okay, pressing that button is just causing the mechanism to move back. I'm gonna put the thing over here real quick. Try to figure out exactly. It's working like a forward assist. Get my hand out of the way. I'm curious how it worked when that's all it's done. I literally put a mag in, fired it, and it did that to me. And that is terrifying. This is the Quick Edge, which is a blaster I've wanted for years. That is now pretty unobtainium. Is it just straight up? Can I... Maybe I put an empty mag in it. Nope. It is, it's super dead. And I do not like it with the, spring lock back. I don't know what to do. Oh, that sucks. It pretty much is, Carl. Pretty much is. But yeah, I didn't even get to... I got single shots out of it. And then I was like, okay, put the mag in, primed it back, pressed the trigger, and it just did that. And I haven't... Now it's like, it's locked back. It's currently open. I can't do anything. I guess I have to try to buy stuff from Monkey Mods. How many of those do I need? I have a feeling the gears are stripped, because it sounds very much not happy. Yeah, it's the AEB pistol with the spring-loaded stock. I'm going to mute this for a second. Yeah, I can't get it to... I can't get it. And I don't want to take something apart that's currently primed back. Why can't I just get stuff that works? Like, I'm continuously getting blasters that don't work. And it makes it really hard because I have to spend a bunch of time trying to fix them to do the video. Yeah, I don't know. This is very much like... Trying to take apart something that is currently primed is very, very stressful. Try putting in the small battery and holding that button. I think that battery is dead. I haven't charged it. Oh, I got a little bit of force out of it. Oh. I'm going to try that one more time, and I'm going to mash the trigger and see if anything changes once it starts going like that. Let's see. Just want it to release. No, it's dead. Maybe I can try one more thing, which is priming it back when it's doing that. Should I try that? Should I try cannonballing it when it's already doing that? I don't know why it's doing it. I could probably figure it out. I'll take it apart later. I just don't want to take apart something. I wish there was a button that would Like, is there a way to access this? Like, this is the catch, isn't it? Is there a way for me to depress that? It's really frustrating. Because, like, trying to take apart something that is currently primed is always scary because it's just going to frickin' explode. What a terrible design! Like, you can dry, like, not dry fire, but you can. Push the catch down with a thin screwdriver. Didn't I just have a small screwdriver? Flathead. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to figure out what the catch is. Nothing seems to be leveraging out of the way. Yeah. Alright. I'll take it apart. It's really upsetting. Didn't even get to fire. Well, I fired it with, because you could use just the spring load and trigger, and it hit like 160 and it was super cool. And then the second I put a battery in and did it, it's like, nope. Just crazy jamming. I'm sure those gears are completely stripped now. That's frustrating. It's hard enough to get my hands on one of these things. I think just prying the front open. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is that, yeah. Rear gear is out of alignment, I can tell by the sound. Oh, cool. Well, hopefully we can fix that. That is smart, Deform and Vita. That's very smart. Oh, Zach messaged me. What are we at? 6:30? I already kind of talked about what I wanted to talk about. What the heck? Is there anything like news related we can talk about? That would be fun. Just got the SMG kit for the Venom for the Xbox games. The parts are really well made. I think pretty soon it has its place. Just needs more adjustment. I really don't like putting 3D printed stuff on non-3D printed stuff. It's like one of my things I really don't like. I got you, Valtech. Speaking of which, they sent me the Swin rifling Firefly, and I was super stoked. And it like hit 120, 130 out of the box. I had to take it apart anyway to try to get like footage of the new plunger rod and stuff like that inside of it. I've tried everything and I can still only get to hit like 150. Even with like the weaker spring, it still hits 150s. So I also bought the Swin rifling Scar, and it doesn't work with the Firefly. And that makes me wonder. It makes me wonder why I even have the notches for the Swin rifling. I don't get it. I'm gonna try to finish the video, but it's like, again, I keep getting blasters that don't work. Have you had a chance to fire Yeet Harmer? No, I have not. There's some new NERF Pro leaks. Interesting. So they are doing more. Kurtawa 77 finally getting released. How much is it, King Supreme? That will depend. NERF Pro Pinnacle and NERF Pro Skyhawk. Well, Skyhawk's obviously a sniper. Pinnacle. Interesting. Yeah, there's been 2 new purple mantas that have cropped up in the last week, which is really weird. One right after another. One showed up on eBay, which I think somebody bought for $750. And then immediately after that, somebody thrifted another one, which is super sus. Can I use the Red Zero X-Shot half-length darts, my XYY Unicorn? Yes, yes you can if you want. Your mileage may vary, but yes, they should be able to fire them, no issue. Has $240. Not sure if that's USD or SGD. That's a lot. I think, I don't know what it's gonna hit. I wonder, does that blaster have a future? What is IFB? I found a carousel listing to a pre-order. The Pinnacle and Skyhawk were the Torn and Sender. Those were code names. Oh, good to know. So there is nothing new. Ideal foam blasters. What a name. Colonel Lost 77 shipping. Well, if they're not shipping overseas, then yeah, it's a... Can't even click on the thing. Well, it's a good thing is one, it doesn't... Interesting. Okay. So there's two things. It does have a non-opaque... I guess it says opaque, but it has a non-clear version available, which is good. It says stock spring hits about 170 FPS. Let's see if we can... I don't know if it can. We can try. Put this up. So it has a clear yellow, or not a clear, a non-clear. Let's try to get this. Oh, I can just make my Walcom small. I keep forgetting about that. Oh, that's not the... Come on. There we go. Now you can see the side of me I haven't chroma keyed out. There we go. Is this like so stretched? Let's see here. Reset. Crop out. There. So they have clear versions. There's transparent clear, which they show as white here. I don't know if that's true or not. They have translucent red, translucent orange, and opaque. So that's good, because I honestly don't want clear stuff anymore, to be honest. It tends to break. Blaster length is approximately TVC. Battery type 3S with XT30 connector. Interesting. So it looks like everybody's going to XT30s now. Barrel length is 23 centimeters. Okay. Stock spring 170 plus FPS. You get a Wasp battery, Wasp blaster, 1 month factory warranty, 1 year tech support. Start shipping mid-October. That's So there's something to be said there. That's actually interesting. It's actually like almost closed bolt. You notice that? That's nice. And if these are all these look 3D printed. I can't tell from here. They definitely look 3D printed. But if it's like all injection molded, if it would take a normal buffer tube, like that's actually huge. I don't know if you picked up on that. So the spring goes in the stock, which means it's probably not buffer tube. But that means it's one of the probably the first AEGs with a quick swap spring. It only takes a battery in the grip. It's possible to take a tube stop because it uses long. The blue part is a printed buffer tube adapter. Okay. Okay, that's good. I can't read Chinese, so. Is that appropriate? Do we say Chinese? It looks like Chinese. Do we say Mandarin or Cantonese? I actually don't know the difference, to be honest. I can only it's not Korean and it's not Japanese. So. I do like the closed bolt, and I do like the idea of the charging handle. That Nerf guy super chatted $4.99. The only good 3D blaster I've had in my eyes is the Yeet Hammer. Interesting. Why is that the Nerf guy? Why do you have the Yeet Hammer on the mind so much? I saw Metal Gears. Yes, yep, there are Metal Gears in it. Okay, that's cool as hell. I like that design. That's way better. The biggest problem with most of these AEGs right now is it's really hard to swap out the springs on them. It's a way better design. I'm hoping with how long this one has taken to get done, that compared to the that Primate Bat, oh, that's so cool. This one is like perfect because the 76 had a bunch of little issues. Look at that firing mechanism though. It's like a standard Springer, but yeah, all that gearing's up there and it just drives the priming bar back. There's the AG motor right there. Should hopefully take Talon mags out of the box. Okay, so that... Oh, that's a big battery for that, though. I mean, a lot of people modded their Fireflies, or not their Fireflies, their 76s to do that. That better come with a battery door of something to script. Because normally that's like, and there's supposed to be a motor in there. There is no motor in there. I hope it has some kind of battery door system. So you can use longer ones with a 3D printed part. I hate that. Super short barrel. So if it takes standard AEG mags like Valor says, that means it will be easy to upgrade this if somebody finds a better motor. Which motor's just right there. I'm not sure how I feel about the ring trigger and the fact that it's a normal slide back trigger and not a pivoting trigger. But I guess it's fine. This is in meters per second, I'm assuming. Comes with the good darts. These are the good ones. You can tell by the 4 ridges. Hopefully this is the darts it comes with. Ooh. Oh, that might be an issue. Look at the width of that trigger. I don't know how I feel about that. Doesn't come with darts? Okay. There's no way they ship this, all of this metal and injection molded with a printed trigger. There's no way. There's also what looks to be a hefty delay. Maybe it's firing and then... yeah, I'm guessing so. So it's firing the dart, so it's releasing that, and then as soon as it releases that, when that plunger rod goes forward, I'm guessing that's hitting a micro switch that's telling it to reprime. Oh, good point, Solanus. Solanus. What the hell is this? What is this? The fact that we need like a 3D printed part for that though? I hate that. I hate that. It's cool that this exists. Why can't we just get that part from the get-go? I don't understand it. That bothers me more than it should. Why can't we get this standard injection molded on the frame? That's what I don't understand. Well, I get that, but it's like, if this part already exists, then I would hope that this part is going to be standard in the box for everybody. I also don't like the priming handle going through the whole thing. Hopefully there's only, like, you can unscrew it or something off one side, because that just looks awful to me. It adds so much more width to your blaster that you can't do anything about. It kind of does, Valor. And I have a couple of Airsoft buffer tubes. So it has semi-auto, good. So it has semi-auto and full auto adjustment. It looks cool. I like the design of it. Really short. That's going to be the other issue, is that this barrel is so short that if you want to put actual power through it, your blaster is going to be as long as the 76 was. And that's a long blaster. I noticed the Alien Invasion pulverizer up there. The front of a snake. An inbox Buzzbee Panther. Interesting. Switch shots. That is cute. Is that the XC, the Foam Knight one? What is that? They have fun. You know they have fun. God, I wish I had my hands on one of the Foam Knight pistols. I never did. Cool. I hope, like, in this configuration, it's cool, because it does have a short barrel. But you have the SCAR, the B-car right on the end of it, and still hitting 70-something FPS, which tells me that if you were to put a longer barrel on it, it'd probably hit 200-something. Hopefully barrels are really easy to swap out on it. That could be a game changer, but you gotta compete with the BK, which is a way better design, I feel. If it would let me just load it. Where are their servers located? On the moon? I feel like this is a way better design. That's just me. I'm a big fan of this design. I've had issues where mine would like grind up a little bit, but like resetting it fixed it. This thing's had thousands of darts through it, and it's been no problem. People have already figured out how to put Talon mags and stuff in it, which I don't like because it usually involves 3D printed parts on a non-3D printed blaster. I get that, Valor, but at the same time, it's like, how many people are playing above 200 FPS normally? I seriously, that's my main complaint. Like, I have a Sweetheart Storm. It's the best Nerf blaster. Like, you literally can't tell me it's not the best. Doesn't have tons of issues for yeah. But it's like, if you wanted just the best, I'd say the Sweetheart Storm is the best. And I don't think you're going to be getting a one of those Colonel wants to hit like 300 FPS and be as nice of a trigger feel and stuff as the BK one, or the Sweetheart Storm. So Sweetheart Storm is just so overkill. It's the best blaster I would never recommend you buy. And this is cool because you get 30 darts, you get 4 mags, you get a battery for 180. Not that you could buy this anywhere else, but or get it shipped to the US. And here's a skin for it. It's been a while since somebody's made an actual sticker skin. So Asimov, and maybe that's another Voltaic. Isn't that the finals? I'm pretty sure that's from the finals, right? I guess we'll know if we'll see like another finals looking skin. Damn. Is that what, girls frontline or something? Great wave of Hokkaido looking thing. Doraemon. Oh, Pikachu one. That's actually maybe the worst one I've seen. An Asuka one. And it says Resident Evil. I'm pretty sure that is one of the companies from the finals. I might be wrong. I guess I'm wrong. The finals companies. Volpe. Volpe is the one I was thinking of. It kind of looks like it, but I don't think it is. It kind of looks like it. Because I want an Ozpose frickin' blaster. I actually found some high rendered stickers I was actually going to try to put on a blaster. No, it's different. The finals is like is an A with like another accent on it. This is like squares. The designs of like the weapons and stuff for the finals though go so hard as NERF blasters. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't think it is. I mean, that's clearly Asimov. Maintenance for the Sweetheart Storm, $50. Like, that's actually a common... Do I have to take apart my entire Sweetheart Storm, or can I just lube it up? Like, I have not done maintenance, and it's had like a couple hundred darts through it yet. I've lubed it, I've dropped lube into it, but I'm scared to actually take the thing apart. What else do they sell? HC Diana, Slinks, Sweetheart Storm Pro Edition. I'm not a fan. The Mithril? Damn. So this looks like a magless, like Lynx almost. Nah, because the plunge tube's actually in the back of it. That's the same... Isn't that the same front end as the Sweetheart Storm? They just take like a Sweetheart Storm tube and make it manual? Looks pretty much the same. Same maker as the Storm. It's damn cool. It's not that cool. Oh my god. Guardian Lynx. That's so much money. Looks cool. This feels like something you'd get, like, that you get knocks on your doors about. Does it have peace and love inscribed into all of them? That would be awful. Doesn't look like it. That's cool. I now recognize this seller. Google... I can't do Arashi Bullpup Kit. Oh, the Argus Mod Works one. Yeah, I've seen that. I've never had any, I don't think, Argus Modworks stuff, but I've seen a lot of their stuff throughout the decade. I don't know. It could be good. Again, my main issue with stuff like this is, it's all Facebook. Yeah, I can't really show that on stream, unfortunately. My biggest issue with these kits, let's see if I can save the image and put it up, is that, like, you're talking about putting, again, 3D printed stuff on an injection molded blaster, and that, I can't explain it to you. I'm not saying it's smart or there's a good reason for it. I just don't like it. It really, really depends on the blaster and the kit. Honestly, this one looks pretty freaking sweet. It's kind of hard to... Like, that's pretty flippin' sweet, man. Like, we got a pretty reasonable stock. All the controls are still there. My issue with all of these is always the balance, too. They just don't feel good, well balanced. It looks cool. I mean, I don't think Argus Modworks has ever made something that doesn't look good. I don't know if I want one. Maybe if I had another BK one. What would go good with the yellow? See, I want to put like what is the name of that? It's like Ozpools? What is the name of that stupid company from? It's OSPUZE. And they're bright yellow with black accents. I'd love to get my BK1 to just have that. And I might do that in the future. Because I really like the finals. I'm sad that it's gonna die. I don't think the finals will be around in 6 months, but I'd like to just take the same thing and just make it say, just put an Ozpro sticker on. Yeah, it's Ozpoos. Pop pour for form, whatever. This thing. Change that. This. I just want to get this. I think I have the ability to do it too. What the heck? Transform? Fit to screen. There we go. I think I have the ability to do that with some water slide decals that are inkjet printed. I can get that. Their color scheme is exactly what the BK1 pretty much already is. There's a little bit more red to their yellow, and I would still paint it, you know, a different shade of yellow anyway, because even if it's scratched, you'd still see yellow, so it would look fine. But I'd love to have, man, there's stuff, I don't know, it's just like, it's like DeWalt, but it looks good. It's my favorite color scheme from that game. That was not a sword, I guess it is a swordfish fork for the BK1. It was for the BK1, J-Ro. It's a cool kit. They sell, like, do they even have, like, a budget? Anything? Their stuff is expensive. They're all, like, super high-end everything. Cool. Alright, let's give this back. Something like that. I'm trying to think, is there anything besides the 77? I don't know how much is coming out that we're waiting for right now. It's been a good year, but it's mostly just been Dart Zone carrying it. If I look back at my channel, We still got a couple of months left, and we usually do get stuff around early December, late November. Sometimes even like late October. Let's see, Maxim is, it's pretty good. There's been a couple of issues reported, but I think it's pretty solid. The Torrent has a use, it has a future. You gotta wait for a Gen 2, I think. The Senders, I think, dead on arrival. Striker 2.0 is very good. Venom Pro is exceptionally good. Might be best blaster of 2024. N-Series is weird. I opened up and shot everything for the Sprinter, and the Sprinter is pretty okay. It's actually weirdly okay. So that might actually have some future for N-Series. We do have the Blink, and it's really good. That might be the one to try to beat, is the Blink. What else? I mean, design-wise, I think, I don't know if anybody has done a whole lot with it, but I think the Bitech, the HBM23, is a pretty solid foundation for a blaster. I kind of wish somebody would, like, remix it, angle it up, make it look a little sexier, maybe improve the weight distribution a little bit. What else? Oh, I forgot about the Ogre. The Ogre is actually pretty solid as well. BK1S is also one of the best blasters we've gotten in a long time. The rival stuff this year, I don't know how I feel about. I like the Mirage and I like the Challenger. I don't know. I'd like to see more. HQ G4, that's not even worth talking about, to be honest. Aeon Pro X might be the wimpiest thing that Dart Zone has released this year. Nexus Pro X is amazing. The Awaken, finally getting that out on store shelves. I love that blaster to death. Then we've got, like, the, Inverted Scales, which, it's a good blaster, but I kind of don't think it's gonna be able to usurp the BK1S and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's a fine blaster. Mine never had any issues, and I had a second one on top of that, but I don't feel like it's got a future compared to the BK1S. I want to double the amount of videos I put out this year by the end of the year, at least. Oh, Moose, which elk do you want? The guy expected to send you the base bottle never followed through. Willing to send you an ebony and ivory. Oh, you don't like ebony and ivory. Devil May Cry 3 was one of the best games on the PS2. No shot of you making that, S4 League gun, huh? You'd make me the happiest man in the world, Moose. Hey, welcome. Did you ever figure out an idea of what to do with Quincy? The problem with Quincy is the freaking, stuff rubbed off on it. Said a Helsing one. I'm not a huge fan of Helsing, and somebody's already doing a video on that, apparently, so. I don't mind the Fallout one, because I like Fallout, but I'm not, like, a huge Fallout fan. I'm more of a Devil May Cry fan than a Fallout fan, and that's why it's like, Ebony and Ivory sounds good. But if there's a shot that I can get the handgun from S4 League as an actual, like, the platform is perfect for it. That would go so hard, especially if you can get the printing down with that checkering. But even then, I could probably make that myself. I think more single shot Spriggers would be cool. I would love to see somebody. This is actually something I was going to say for another stream, but I kind of want to top. Like, what company should make what blasters? Like, NERF, I would like to see them make a dual sledge fire. Still, that's like the one thing I want NERF to do, and they still haven't done it. Even if it's like N-Series, I'll take N-Series shotgun at this point. I just don't want the shells to be gigantic and unusable. And I would like to see, you know, just a massive, even if it's like an $80 thing, make a gigantic break action double sledge fire. Just do it. I don't know why they haven't, other than like they're scared, but it's like, yeah, if you made like a good sledge fire ×2, even if it was like $80, I think it would sell. Shotguns and sniper rifles are the two things I think are the most wanted by people. So when it comes to like Dart Zone, I would like to see them either tackle something like the Awaken, because I think they could do a good job with it, or I would like them to do a lever action, essentially, Conquest or Dictator. But I'd like them to flip the mag around, so instead of loading for the back, it loads for the front, which I think they could still do with that mechanism relatively easily. With X-Shot, I would like to see a pro version of like a more expensive, more beefed up Ragefire. I think that there's not very many flywheelers, and I think they're on the right track. I wish they weren't so budget orientated. They make good stuff, but I think they're like going for the bottom barrel price point on everything is starting to kind of come back at them. Because yeah, the Crusher, not the Crusher, the Dreadhammer feels so thin and creaky. Like you could literally, I almost want to on camera just because I know I could, break the thing over my knee without even trying. It's so thin. It weighs like a pound. I can lift it up with my pinky, which is like, oh, that's a good thing. Walcom's like, no, not for something that has that many moving parts. I feel like if I actually tried to in a video, I could go rip and just rip the entire thing apart trying to prime it. Buzzbee is interesting. I don't know what Buzzbee should do. Buzzbee's really interesting right now because they've done... I want to see what the Twist Fury is like. Pro Sentinel. I already kind of talked about somebody else doing some kind of lever action. Short Dart Reaper? That wouldn't be a bad. An internal mag short dart would be a cool thing to see. I want to get my hands on the Twist Fury. I don't think it's available yet, is it?
Let's rock.
Is the Twist Fury out on store shelves in America? Thank you very much for the €2. I think that's euro. I'm so sorry, Sam. I'm an American with a public education. I don't know if Twist Fury will be Blaster of the Year. It's going to be so hard to beat out. Like, first you're looking at the Desperado, and then you're looking at the Venom Pro. It's like, it's going to be super hard. Yeah, you probably got it from Buzzbee Homely. I think I tried to watch Mongoose Jake's video, and it was out of focus the entire time. Is that the video I'm thinking of? I was, like, really disappointed. Yeah. Dude, come on! Like, I'm not saying you have to be insanely high quality, but you don't do any editing. And then on top of that, your camera is focused on your background behind you, which meant the entire video was unwatchable because you're not in focus. Like I've had to reshoot entire videos because of stuff like that. Like and to upload that on a blaster nobody else has, dude. What is the deal? Like, Buzzbee sent you that early, and that's the quality of video they get? Nexus Pro X was this year, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I couldn't watch this video. He's literally out of focus the entire time. Oh god, dude. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm really not. I'm just like, that is a reshoot. You don't edit as far as I know. So that is like, oh, I'm sorry that your 10-minute video is, you have to redo it, but it's almost unwatchable. I'm not saying his audio is bad. I'm not saying his camera quality is bad. I'm just like, it was literally focused on the background the entire time. That's so bad. Is that a problem with his, It's a problem with a lot of his video. So I just watched the Rogue. Yeah. It's clearly focused on his background. This one's a little less egregious. He watches Arsenal X video. Yep. Set this to 1080p. This one's also not as bad, but yeah, it's really, the background is far more, like, it's obvious his camera's focusing on the background, but he's like right up against that shelf. I mean, it's the worst on the Twist Fury one by far. It's like, because he's further in front and he's showing a thing up to the camera. So, like, I guess it won't, yeah. How would I exemplify this? I wonder if I can, like, put something up here and then tell my camera to focus on it. No, it's not going to do it. No, it's still focusing on my eyes. Yeah, like, my camera automatically tracks my eyes, so it is a problem if I put something in front of my face, and, like, that's how it focuses. Like, it doesn't do a good job right now. Let me turn off the... Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't really like doing that. I have it on, like, the slowest autofocus setting, too, because sometimes you have it, like, Drac is that he films, like, all of his stuff in one day. It sucks that the thing does that. Is it back up? I don't know why it does that. I can't fix it. I literally can't. This is just a Walmart special. I don't want to, Brickosaurus. I don't feel like that's healthy. He was very excited. Like, I actually didn't watch his Rogue review. That looks like a really cool blaster. I don't know what the price is. I thought it was a Rebel mech reskin, but it's not. It's clearly a different blaster. Does he say how much it will cost? For just under 25 bucks. That's actually really impressive. And probably the most important thing is it has a human-sized grip. So I have a feeling that the Rogue will be a great blaster, as will be the Twist Fury. Well, considering that this is how I pay the rent, Frisk, I don't plan on quitting, but it's definitely lost its allure over the last couple of years. Yeah, you need to tell me, Brick, when you watch that video, and again, I don't have any problem with his content. I'm just upset about this one. I get, you could almost call it autism. When he holds up the skewer and it's all blurry, but the background is sharp, you don't see a problem with that. Actually, wait, I know how I can... Yeah. Hold on. I guess I have to get out of that menu. I don't think in live stream mode it could do it, but imagine this is in the entire video. Imagine I shot my entire video like this. Like, it's almost not fair. Like, you see how I'm in the background and I'm soup? This is how his video is. It's unwatchable, dude. I can't do it right because I have a green screen. I'd have to, like, focus on something behind me, and I can't because of the green screen, but it's super hard. Like, that's hard to watch for a period of time. And I don't think he's in a hurry. I just don't understand it. Like, he just... So to me, it comes off as like he just doesn't care. And maybe that's true. Maybe he just doesn't. But it's like, it's not like you're racing to beat other YouTubers. You're the first one who has it. So, like, I kind of wish you'd just been like, oh, crap, in editing. Like, oh, this is very bad. I should reshoot this. The second time might be better. The trigger draw is huge on the Rogue. Holy crap, my idiocy is showing. I have my Hammer Prime Blaster video halfway done, but I got bored editing, took 4 weeks. I should live stream my edits just because it might make it a little bit more bearable. The idea of Taffy, like, building his own kit for the Twist Fury to modify it is the coolest thing ever. Because that thing needs to just be, that's going to be interesting. God, I want his ammo case pack, and I want his the heat-seeking scope by itself pack. I want both those things for my collection. And those are too precious. He would never get rid of those. That's the thing that bothers me, is like, I really wish he would have. Okay, so the reason why I'm harping on this, chat, it's not to single him out. There's a lot of other content creators that do this. My problem, and I make mistakes, don't get me wrong, and I try to fix those mistakes with the YouTube editor. It does happen. I'm usually in a hurry to get things out before a specific time, and I'm trying not to do that right now. But when that happens, it reflects on all of us kind of poorly, and that is like, you don't have to have hundreds of hours in editing. You don't have to have a $4,000 camera. You don't have to have the most insane stuff ever. You can make by with minimal stuff. But when you have a complete lack of, like, oh, the video wasn't in focus the entire time and you upload it anyway, it's like, do you not respect your viewers' time? Like, I've done some questionable things editing. I had an issue with, I had a whole video that had no audio, and I dubbed over it, and I thought that was one of the worst things I ever uploaded, but it was the blaster I didn't think I'd ever get my hands on again, so I just did that. And thankfully that was like when I was just filming from a POV perspective, so it would work. No, Demon, it's very clear that his camera is focused on his background. Because like when he holds stuff up to it, like my camera won't even do it. Like it's locked in, like, I mean, that's what expensive cameras do. But it's very clear that he either didn't pull focus or his focus is pulled, like he has auto eye. Like if I go to my background, I have that thing of Phil Swift hanging up, my camera will detect Phil Swift and pull focus on Phil Swift over me. It has happened. But I also have a monitor now, so I can see what my camera is focusing on. That's one of the reasons why I transferred into scripting too, is because I don't want to do a video and completely mess it up and then have to start from square one. If I take the time to write out a script, that way I can go just reread the script and the video will be essentially the same. You don't have to, like, video quality is almost the thing you don't need in, like, YouTube. The audio quality is more important. Why do you have a picture of Phil Swift on your wall? It's not a picture, it's a fan, and I was sent it, therefore I wanted to put it back there. I have a bunch of stickers and a hat and stuff, too. It was just a, hey, we wanted to send you a bunch of Flex Seal stuff. We're not asking you to do a video or anything. We just saw your content and wanted to send you stuff. I'm like, okay. They sent me some actual Flex Seal, Flex 2, or Flex Shot, I think it was called, Flex Tape. They sent me a bunch of stuff, and it's really good stuff. I don't know if I'd get another one of those, to be honest. The caramel apple, I was expecting the caramel to be actual caramel and not... it's like a liquid flavoring. It's like that buttered popcorn stuff, but with apple. I don't know if I'd get another one of those. But I'm excited. And I do like the work that Mongoose Jake does. I think I'd be willing to help him if he wanted, like, any idea. Like, I've thought about reaching out to him, asking, like, hey, man, do you want any idea with editing? But from what I've seen with trying to explain this to other content creators in the past, they just go, well, I don't have time for this. I have a real job. I don't need to do this. Like, okay, fine. If you have a real job, then you have all the time in the world to do your YouTube videos. You don't have to rush them out. So why is this an issue where you can't just spend the extra time to make the bare minimum of a video watchable? I'm not saying you have to, you know, fire up Adobe After Effects and stuff like that and learn professional video editing. I'm not one of those things at all. I'm completely self-taught in everything I do. There's a lot of stuff I can learn. There's a lot of things I could do better, and I'm constantly trying to improve and change stuff to make it better. But it's like when you just don't care about your content and then you're expecting other people to watch it, it sucks. Most videos I go and watch, you know, you listen to, busy day, audio definitely matters. Audio is definitely more important than video. 100%. Thoughts on the easy crossbow? I think I've seen that. I don't have one. Have you tried to flex seal as paint-on blaster grips? I have not. I have a feeling that wouldn't work the best. I've tried Plastidip, and it didn't work very good at all. I think a lot of people had that thought, David, myself included, but that was like a decade ago. Your job as a content creator is to, you know, entertain or inform. And having your video, your 10-minute, 11-minute long video be out of focus the entire time and still upload, that's just not great. I can't get over that. Especially when it's like you're not in a rush. If it didn't turn out, you could, like, crap, I learned from this. I need to go back and fix it. Maybe his camera doesn't have focus. Maybe there's just something broken about it. Maybe he's using a GoPro that just captures everything. I don't know. It seems like he has a camera that is focused on his background behind him, which makes everything in front of it super blurry. And when I'm watching that, it hurts. Like, if I'm watching it on my phone, I guess it wouldn't be a big deal. But on my, you know, massive, you know, what is it, 5120 by 1440 resolution monitor, it hurts. It hurts my eyes. It hurts my head. It gives me a headache. Because I can't focus on anything other than your background. If I'm focusing on you, you're all blurry and out of focus, and it literally hurts. There are people who can do one-cut wonders. I'm not saying you can't. I mean, that's basically why I do streaming, is because it kind of sharpens me against being able to do that, because I have no script. I have no way of knowing what I'm going to say next. So there are a lot of people who, I don't like Walcom streams. Well, that's because there's no, like, I don't get to edit myself doing this. It's not that I'm different. It's just that you're seeing an edited version of me, which is obviously going to be different than the unedited version of me, which I live stream for. And I mean, it's not like I make a ton of money or anything doing live streams. I literally do this just to interact with my viewers. That's it. I almost didn't want to live stream today. I just didn't feel like it. I'd rather be working on videos or, let's be frank, playing Deadlock. But there's too many hackers on Deadlock right now, and I have plenty of videos to work on. My wife has been cooking curry all day, and I really want to get some of that. I don't even know if it's ready. I need to ask her. Because curry is definitely been on my mind. But I'm probably going to eat curry, take apart that pistol, and see if I can't get it working again. And then probably try to finish up a video for Monday. Imagine hacking in a beta game. It's not even funny. It's really not. I don't know why. And they're usually really bad. But, yeah. Yeah, I will do my best to take apart in the bag, perform in Vita. That's a really good idea, actually. I've never thought about doing that. I'm not sure, but random video to watch due to blasters. All the guy does is use green screen. Only thing you can see is his hands and gloves of blaster. It looks funny. It's kind of cool. Some people don't grow up watching videos in 1440p and it shows. I mean, I did. I used to watch, you know, 4-part, like watch an anime on YouTube in 4 distinct parts. Heck, there's still times I put my phone on 1440p just because I'm going to listen to it more than I'm going to watch it. And that's like, I don't need high video quality. I just need audio. Hey, Walcom, is it worth it to buy a CS18 Rapid Strike today? I would say no. Not unless you wanted to use like that JS Black Tech kit. Frisk, I'm not gonna tell you my real name. I've obviously been ignoring you, constantly asking. I commented on a video recently and somebody's like, that's true, my real name. And it's like, dude, you don't know me. Like, there's nothing worse than like going to RAG and somebody goes, yo, my real name, and turning around and not knowing who that person is at all. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm a fan, I watch your videos. It's like, then don't use my real name because I thought you were a friend of mine. And people do it as like some kind of sick like power move over me. I don't try at all to hide my real name in any sense. It's just weird that people want to like know my real name. It's like, it's fine if we're like hanging out, drinking beers, and you're like, can I call you your real, I don't want to call you Walcom. Yeah, my real name's this. It's like, I know you now, but you have no idea how annoying it is for somebody who have no idea. It's like, you know me, or at least the version of me I put on the internet. I don't know you at all, so to use my real name, it sucks. It's like one of my biggest pet peeves. Like, I don't call Xavier by his real name. I've known him for a decade. Yeah, I actually refuse usually to call David by his actual real name because I know him as somebody else, his handle. Interaction, you piece is just lad. I'm thinking, this is actually a thought I had. I might plow through the next like 10 videos I do without a script just to try to get videos out as fast. Like, taking the time to do scripting and everything has taken a lot more out of me. I think with like videos like Gelfire Uproar, I don't need to have a script for, considering I've gotten millions upon millions upon millions of views not using a script. I really need to like plow through these next like 20 videos as fast as I can. He says, it's like, oh, don't have the time to think. No, I'm literally like 40 videos behind right now, man. Bullets instead of full scripts. The only thing I really need bullet points for is jokes. When's your next video? It should have been 2 weeks ago, man. I don't think I'm gonna upload tomorrow. I mean, I could. I've got a fridge full of energy drinks. I've got curry. I could just pull like the next 6-7 hours and have a video out tomorrow morning at 9. Maybe. I don't know. I hate saying I'm gonna, because I was supposed to get a video out all this week, but I've just been like, okay, well, I'm gonna spend this day getting all this B-roll, this day getting all this B-roll, this day doing the script writing, this day doing the folding. So I have like 4 videos, I think. I not yesterday, day before, I actually went outside with like 9 blasters to shoot all the outdoor footage, which I hope turned out. I have not checked it yet, but yeah. I'm hoping that I get videos out and everything, and they should hopefully be pretty good. I'm still riding the highs that my last video had double the attention span than any other video I've done. I'm worried YouTube's already killed my channel, though, because I haven't uploaded enough. I think I've only done, like, 1 video in the past, like, month. And then I can actually find out from Dude Buddy will tell me. It says 5 videos. What have I done? Nah, that's no way it was 5. It's counting live streams. See, I still have to actually shoot the B-roll for the Nerf Pro fixing video. The thing is, I don't like doing B-roll. That's my issue. I just don't like it. I don't have a good setup to film it. So I just kind of randomly fill it throughout the studio. But it's like, even doing something like unboxing, which I'm doing unboxings now as B-roll. I get the shot of the box spinning, then I get the shot of the box on the floor and the different aspects of it. Those are all different clips. Then I get the shot of me slamming the box on the table. Then I get the shot of me at a different angle, cutting open the box and pulling the stuff out of it. And it's like, that's a lot of clips and a lot of time, but like when you're watching it, you barely even notice I do that. I would do a Maxima Auto if I had an auto kit right now, which I don't. You gonna review the Foxbat? I was offered to be sent one, and I do kind of want to take a look at it, but I don't know if I could. I could. Let me get these two and the Wild Style out. These are the ones that are the biggest hurdle for me right now, because I just don't know how to talk. That's why I started this whole stream, is because I'm sitting here like, I don't know how to write these scripts. Hoping to hear your thoughts on the Desperado. I want the Desperado to be the next video. I have everything shot for that right now, including the talkie bits. Man, that was a breath of fresh air. After that caramel apple drink, I had also, is a Celsius. Is it this one? No. So this is like the best drink ever. Love it to death. So good. I got like Grape Rush, and it's the most vile thing I've ever put in my mouth. And I had to choke it down because I spent money on it. Did you install the wood front insert for your... Is that what this is? Because no, I haven't yet. I really, really like this design where it's like a screw on, and then that'll pull off, and you put it on the blaster and you tighten that down. That's such a nifty design. I really like that. I think that's like one of the better designs I've seen on that. Oh, it just ripped out my beard. Look at that beard hair. Look at the length of that beard hair it just stole from me. Oh, no, man. Oh, it's so long. My beard will never grow out. That hurt. I'll try to get something done. Yeah, and most of my stuff is voiceover now, General. It's just that I don't have like a good place to film that. Like, I don't have a place I'm happy filming B-roll. My biggest issue with B-roll is lighting. Full auto kit on the way. Whatever, David. No, you didn't. I'll do it just for you. It is Gorgosaurus. Like, it's honestly like, it's really good in small quantities, but when I'm shooting for like a 16-minute long video, it's rough. But the thing is with B-roll is I can film a bunch of it when I don't feel like getting in front of a camera, and that works out really well. That's something that I do like. I do like. I haven't seen the foot. Do I have my? Yeah, I have my hard drive right here. How long is my video when I filmed it? Because I read off a script. I mean, granted, there's going to be pauses and stuff in there. So, this was the moose video. I don't know if you heard that. I hit start of the camera, just ripped. So that's 17 minutes, but I think this is subtitle in it. It's named. Nope, that's the full video. So that full script was 17 minutes long. What about this one? Desperado, 6 minute, and then my camera ran out of battery. 6 minute plus 8 minute. Okay, so we're doing good. Because those scripts seemed really long. Unless this is part of it. Okay, no, this was part of it. So what is this 8-minute one? Oh, it's literally me, not even in front of the camera. It's literally, I had my camera rolling. Record? Why? I don't know if you can hear that. It's still record. Why? I hit stop. because it was hot, right? So I'd film a whole video and then I'd walk away. I came back and my camera was still recording. And it's like, what the heck? Proof that I have been working, though. It's not all playing Deadlock 24/7. I've got all the spinny cinema stuff. I've got a bunch of footage here. I've got footage from that trip. But it's all like... Yeah, you guys can't see it, but... Man, I look awful on camera when we can see me below the waist because I'm just the most pear-shaped of boys. What is this? This Maxim? And other non-Nerf Pro attachments. So the Maxim video was 27 minutes of raw footage. And that video was 13 minutes long. So the scripting does help out. So yeah, we're getting there. And honestly, I'll probably write the script for the Sprinter tonight because I'm honestly like, I think the title for that one is going to be, so maybe N Series has a chance, because the Sprinter is actually kind of... Let me look at it. Can I even get through here? Screw this. Move. I actually have quite a bit to say about this thing. Oh, it's gonna mostly chroma keyed out. I just realized that. Who painted it clear? We're just trying to break everything today. Man, this thing is actually fun. It's nice ergonomically. You can see it's actually... Which way are the motors, over here? Or are they over here? It's got a... They should have just put the actual door. Because they have like the jam clearing door on both sides. Oh, it's because I have that back. Trigger is really nice. It's actually really good. And honestly, this like P90 style grip, like this feels really nice. Like, I honestly thought this was a good blaster. For 30 bucks, like you could do so much worse. It's such a nice trigger. It feels nice and light, super pointable. You can get a decent cheek weld on it. All of this, you have all this rounding everywhere on the blaster, but where the cheek weld goes, has nobody at Hasbro ever held a firearm before? Like any kid would be like, I want to practice Call of Duty, and you can't because this freaking sharp edge right here. This is really good, to be honest. I honestly think this was a good blaster. Mag release works out fine. The accuracy was okay. Rate of fire is excellent. Like, man, it's a really small, like, thin trigger face, but they still obviously realized they needed to put a trigger face on it. So, like, it's a thin trigger, but they did just enough work to make that nice. Rev trigger is nice. I really do think this was... This is the best I've seen so far in N Series. People will be happy with this one. It's worth checking this out, I feel. Hey, Walcom, there's a little bit of window and door stuck to the stock and rails of that. What the hell are you saying, Classic? I don't know what bro's saying. Do I have the Elite 2.0 Duo? I don't think I do. NERF Elite 2.0 Duo. There's still a bunch of Elite 2.0 stuff I'm missing. No, I don't have a Duo. Classics is being a brat about the chroma key, of course. I never got the lock and load from Elite 2.0. I am actually surprised. Like, I know somebody's going to do it because I'm saying it now, and I know it's going to happen. I don't know when I'll get around to it, but just buy chroma key paint, put the blaster down, and chroma key paint the entire blaster. everybody talks about, oh, Coop's painted clear. I don't know why Coop didn't do that. Like, it's actually a thing I can buy right now. I think it's kind of expensive, but chroma key spray paint. Yeah, it's like 25 bucks a can. But that would be so funny. It'd be better to get like the actual tub of chroma key video paint and just dunk a blaster in it. I feel like TF2 needs a collab with NERF. There's no way, dude. TF2's dead. It's gone. It's not. I'm glad they fixed it. I completely shuddered doing my... I actually filmed it. Is it not in my hard drive? I filmed the Babyface Blaster video. But, like, I was going to do that for Save TF2, and then they fixed TF2. I think I made a backup of my hard drive before I left and then wiped my hard drive. Let's see here. Backup June 2024. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. There's a lot of footage I wanted to save for the fix. I fixed NERF Elite, or NERF Pro. Is there no ninja footage on here? That's all my... Crap. Ninja backup. Is it in this? There is footage in here of stuff that I don't see. I might have screwed myself. I thought I filmed that entire video. I can refilm it. It's fine. But yeah. I want to get... There's stuff from Deadlock I'd like to make. I should make Infernus's weapons as NERF blasters, because he literally uses hands and just goes pew 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 pew. That's so cool. Made a long strike drain blast mod. How long is a good barrel? If you're using a drain blaster, you want like a 3-foot long barrel. I think Coop used green screen. But yeah, honestly, if you're on the fence, I'll try to get this done as soon as possible too. I haven't wrote the script for it yet, but I've done all the firing footage and stuff for it. I really thought it was good. I still have to open up the Minecraft things and stuff like that. Oh, check that out. You can see the wires. It might be impossible without enough lighting. You can literally see the wires in between that, though. I wonder if I can force that up enough that I can pop it out. Yeah. Oh well. Pretty well balanced, too, all things considered. Yeah. That definitely makes it way better. And it works with the magazines from the pinpoint. Have we got confirmation the NERF Ace of Spades was a thing? Like, is that a real thing, or is that still like a leak? We'll find out Monday. Good shit. All right. Well, I'm going to stop here because I'm sure the curry that the wife has made is absolutely amazing and I want to eat it. So I'm going to go eat and then I'm going to come back up and do God knows what. Come on, man. Don't be rotating off. Any other questions? Last time. Rapid fire. Anybody got questions? I'll answer them. Unless it's dumb. Then I won't answer it. Coming Monday. Good to know, Brad. Thank you, my Destiny 2 players, because I've been clean for years. Oh yeah, I'll pop that on. I finally did open up my, I recorded it, but I opened up my, my Dran Dagger Mammoth Tusk and played. Yeah, Babylit X is awesome. Still haven't had one burst, but I was using the proto launchers and those suck. Mega Strife full auto would be a woozy. I've done full auto strifes before. Springer Perilous video win. I don't know what that is, Frozen Fade. Defend the tower, Walcom. Be showered in glimmer. Why did my dad leave? He just needed some milk and cigarettes. He'll be back eventually. Don't give up hope. What are you most excited for coming up in Nerf? That's the thing right now, on day. It doesn't seem like we have anything super exciting coming out. Will you make any more videos on Elite 2.0? If I could get the lock and load, and the duo, I might do an actual post-mortem on Elite 2.0 to cover actually every single blaster, because there was a couple of good ones after I made my original video. I'd have to get my hands on those, though. Can you even get that? Crap, hold on. Nerf block. Apparently it's not even that expensive. $25. Huh. I think that's like one of the only ones I'm missing. From the designer of the Ogre. I have no idea. I bought an X-Shot motorized water blaster. Could auto convert it to an AEB fire and foam. I don't think so, Art 10, because you'd have to build a breach for it that would work with that, and that's too many moving parts. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying it's going to be hard. Springer Perilous. Can I Google that? Springer Perilous. New prototype from Flip Foam. Ooh. That's interesting. It's a offset Magwell one. Streaming bar tonight? I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna eat and then I'm gonna work on stuff. And honestly, probably play some Deadlock, but because it's been like 3 days since I played. I went out last night and saw Beetlejuice, mostly just because I know the wife really wanted to see it. Has anybody else been to a movie theater recently? We went Friday night, downtown Puyallup at the mall. They put us in there was a 5:25 showing. We showed up at 5:35, and for some reason they put us in that showing. So we walked into the movie was already playing, so we walked out, but there was nobody in that theater. There was like 4 people. So we got in on a 6:15 showing. This is the night the movie came out, mind you. And there was a total of 7 people who joined us at the 6:15 showing. Movie theaters seemed dead. Because, like, the last movie we saw before that was The Lion King when they re-released it in theaters. And before that, it was, like, One Piece Red. And I expect nobody to be watching the One Piece movie, but, like, Beetlejuice, nobody was watching that movie. Like, literally, there was 7 people in that theater. And it was, like, the massive one. Like, the huge one that seats, like, 300-something people. And we sat right in the middle. And there was people in front of us and people behind us, and that was it. Beetlejuice was selling out here. Maybe it's just dead. It was a pretty good movie. I'm not going to say it was the best movie ever or anything like that. I think I've played the NES game more recently than I've seen the original movie. But I remembered enough. I thought the first 20-30 minutes were pretty boring. And then it picks up. Spy Family movie? Ooh, I never saw that. And the Godzilla, there weren't too many people. I didn't know the Spy Family movie got like a theatrical release. Code White, I think it was called. I'm gonna be mad if that was an option I could have saw. I don't see it anywhere. I'll see it when it comes out. I've seen Twister as a Stormwatcher myself as a summer blockbuster that was unrealistic. Walcom, would you sell me your Nerf trilogy and a clean CS35 for $100? What's a clean CS35? Miguel, email me. Because I think I have 2 trilogies. If I have 2 trilogies, I will definitely sell one. I might? I don't know. I definitely have a clean CS35, regardless of what it is. I have Raiders, I have Rampages, I have Clear Raiders, I have Clear Rampages. Yeah, you can send me an email. It's in the about section on the channel. We could definitely talk about it. You'd have to pay shipping too, though. All right, I want food. You guys are awesome. I'm gonna leave you with the rest of the song. Love you. Enjoy one of the best songs from Ragnarok, and I will see you soon. I promise. It'll pick up. When it picks up, it'll pick up good. Bye.